Welcome to the CPM Customer Success Podcast, where we help Office of Finance leaders enable an exact solution to enhance their corporate performance without spending countless nights and weekends in the office. Hi, I'm your host, Andy Smetana with Nova Advisory. Nova Advisory is a 100% OneStream professional services diamond implementation partner. We help OneStream customers and prospective OneStream customers get the most out of their OneStream investments. And for CPM Customer Success listeners, we now have a weekly newsletter to keep you informed on the latest CPM Customer Success news. By subscribing today, we'll keep you informed on episode releases, including customer success stories, OneStream interviews, and capabilities to keep you up to date about OneStream's unified platform for finance. You can check that out now at Nova Advisory's website, novaadvisory.com/podcast, and subscribe to the CPM Customer Success Podcast newsletter today. In today's episode of CPM Customer Success, we're going beyond budgeting. We're going to talk about why modern FP&A teams are ditching their annual plans, and we're going to break down the challenges of traditional budgeting, what modern FP&A leaders are doing differently, and how platforms like OneStream are helping teams plan smarter, forecast better, and stay ready for anything. So whether you're battling spreadsheet chaos or just tired of budgets that go stale, this one's for you. So let's begin with the big picture. FP&A is no longer just about tracking numbers, it's about driving strategy for the business. Finance has evolved from scorekeeping to storytelling, from record keeping to recommending. And FP&A sits at the intersection of this, bringing decisions and directions to guide the business. They help their organizations allocate capital, assess risk, and seize on opportunities. Today's CFO, they're not just managing the books, they're managing the future of the organization. So whether it's from ESG to AI, they're leading the charge, and you, our CPM Customer Success community, are leading the charge, transforming finance into a strategic powerhouse. So in other words, FP&A, it's really the GPS of a system. And for an organization, it's navigating the company over the financial ocean. But here's the catch. Many teams, they still rely on those tools and processes that are built for a world that doesn't exist anymore. There's disconnected spreadsheets, there's version control nightmares, plans are based on guesswork instead of real business drivers. So it's no wonder that according to FSN research, 29% of finance leaders today say their systems allow for accurate performance predictions. It's only 29%. And yet even fewer, just 23%, say they can quickly respond to market changes. So stop and think about what the financial world looked like back in January. We're sitting here in June 2025 at the time of this recording. Or think back to later last year, late 2024, when your annual budgeting may have been just getting underway, just getting finalized to get plans ready for 2025. What was your supply chain forecast back then? How has trade policy impacted your business? Was any of that reflected in your 2025 plans? So we need systems that can keep up with the pace of changes as things evolve with your organization. So let's get real for a moment. Traditional budgeting, it's exhausting. There are months of effort involved. There's dozens of spreadsheets. There's endless back and forth between corporate and different business lines, sending spreadsheets out and version control issues throughout your organization. And by the time you finalize all that, the market's moved on. So one of the most common pain points we see at Nova Advisory is their static annual budgets. They're no longer relevant within the first quarter of the business. There's siloed planning models. They don't talk to one another. There's manual processes. They drain time. They increase risk. There's limited visibility into what's really driving your numbers. And so the result? Finance teams, they're stuck. They're stuck gathering and cleaning data instead of analyzing and influencing their business strategy. And maybe the worst of all, these outdated models, they erode confidence in the numbers. So you can't be a trusted advisor for your business as a finance leader if no one trusts the data that you're using to run and guide and steer. So what's the alternative? It's not just, there's no more budgets. It's beyond budgeting. It's a shift in the mindset, the methods, and the measurement. Beyond budgeting means trading off rigid plans for rolling forecasts. In fact, CFO.com reports that rolling forecasts are now a must-have. With economic uncertainty, supply chain disruptions, companies need to pivot quickly. And static budgets, they just can't keep up. So beyond budgeting means empowering teams with decentralized decision-making. Beyond budgeting means aligning performance to value creation, not static targets. And beyond budgeting also values transparency, agility, and autonomy, not just financial controls. And technology is the key. You need a system that doesn't just support this shift, it enables it. And that's where OneStream comes in play. OneStream is not just another planning tool. It's a unified CPM platform that brings together budgeting, forecasting, financial management reporting, scenario modeling. We just talked about scenario modeling on the prior episode of CPM Customer Success. So if you want more info on that, check out episode 64. And OneStream even brings in AI forecasting all into one place. So there's no more stitching together reports from 5 different systems. With OneStream, everything from actuals to forecasts, they happen within the same application. So here's what you get. You get one version of the truth across your finance and operations. You get built-in audit trails and workflows. You get extensible dimensionality, which means that every team, they can plan at their own level of detail while they can still align to corporate goals. In that kind of integration, it doesn't just save you time, it elevates the role of finance as a strategic business partner. So have you ever heard the phrase, hope it's not a strategy? If yes, then you already know why rolling forecasts matter. Instead of locking in an annual plan, rolling forecasts help you adjust course based on actual business performance, real-time market shifts, or internal business drivers. With OneStream, you can refresh your forecast monthly or quarterly, whatever makes sense for your organization. You can use predictive models to seed your baselines. You can build scenarios like your best case, your base case, or even a black swan event. And you can analyze changes in volumes, prices, or FX effects, and you can see all of those impacts on your margins. The benefit of all this, finance becomes more responsive, not reactive. You're no longer chasing accuracy, you're driving business agility. So let's now shift and talk about what this looks like in a real-life CPM customer success story. This one's a global leader in water technology. After multiple acquisitions, they ended up with 3 Hyperion planning apps, 3 Hyperion financial management or HFM instances, and they had a mess of Excel models piecing together the gaps of those applications. The process was fragmented, it was complex. Load times for actuals, they took 6 to 8 hours every time. Their expense allocations, it's a 10,000 line journal entry, and they manually built that journal entry. Then came in OneStream. In just 9 months, they consolidated everything into one platform. They reduced their load times to 15 minutes. They automated their allocations across their actuals and budgets. They gained visibility by product, branch, and project. And they slashed their IT overhead with cloud deployment. Their FP&A team now spends less time updating data and more time analyzing it. Now let's shift gears to manufacturing and a second CPM customer success story of the week. This company, they make sealing systems and anti-vibration parts for major OEMs around the world. They're using Hyperion Enterprise, custom SQL databases, and manual Excel uploads. Their FP&A processes lack consistency and visibility. But with OneStream, here's what's changed. They now have financial consolidation, budgeting, and product profitability, and they're all unified in one single application. They built a virtual cube to analyze their performance down to the part level, by platform, or by customer. Their allocations became automatic. Their guided workflows ensured that there was quality and consistency and auditability across their organization. And according to their corporate controller, OneStream gave them one system owned by finance that gave them rich insights and much faster cycles. Maybe the best part of all, they now gather their product level data by day 4 of the financial close instead of by day 16. So let's not forget the power of AI. It's been a theme the last several episodes of CPM Customer Success. And let's talk about how AI is shaping the future of planning. Now, according to Robert Half's 2025 Finance and Accounting Trends Report, AI, it's no longer optional. It's foundational. So finance teams, they're using AI to automate complex tasks and focus more on strategy and not on spreadsheets. And that's exactly what OneStream's Sensible AI forecasting solution is built for. OneStream's Sensible AI uses machine learning to detect patterns in your historical data, to take your forecast outcomes and provide more precision in those outcomes, to spot anomalies before they become problems, to reduce the time needed for your forecast cycles, and to eliminate bias from manual inputs. Side note, if you want a deep dive on biases, there's 150 documented cognitive biases we as humans are susceptible to. So eliminating those biases from manual inputs will go a long way in improving your forecasts. So imagine your forecasts are getting smarter with every cycle, while you as a finance leader are focused on strategy and not spreadsheets. That's what OneStream's Sensible AI solution brings to the FP&A table. Now, with fewer accounting grads entering the field, organizations are turning to platforms like OneStream to fill the gap of those lack of accounting and finance talent. And they're doing it by automating their workflows. They're freeing up talent for higher value work. So to wrap this up, beyond budgeting, it's not just a buzzword, it's a call to action. It's a call to rethink how we plan, how we forecast, and how we empower decision makers. With OneStream, you can say goodbye to fragmented systems. You can embrace rolling forecasts and scenario planning. You can turn data into decisions, and you can do it fast. And you can give finance the strategic seat at the table that it deserves. So today, CPM Customer Success community, we've provided 2 real-life CPM Customer Success cases. So I challenge you to live up to this community's name and become your own CPM Customer Success. Now it's your move. Thanks again for joining today's episode of CPM Customer Success. And a reminder, check out the CPM Customer Success weekly email newsletter to stay informed of the latest CPM Customer Success episodes and OneStream news. You can check that out at Nova Advisory's website, novaadvisory.com/podcast, and subscribe to the CPM Customer Success newsletter today. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you next week for another episode of CPM Customer Success.